What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the Wildfire series, Quotes That Stuck With Me. This one's not a quote, it's a song. I keep making my quotes longer, but stick with me. It's a really short song, okay? It's by Fred Rogers. The name of the song is It's You I Like, okay? So it goes like this. It's you I like. It's not the things you wear. It's not the way you do your hair, but it's you I like. The way you are right now, the way down deep inside you, not the things that hide you, not your toys, they're just beside you, but it's you I like. Every part of you, your skin, your eyes, your feelings, whether old or new. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, that it's you I like. It's you yourself, it's you. It's you I like. Again, that's Fred Rogers. The name of the song is It's You I Like. This is one of my favorite songs, and when I first heard it, a massive shift was taking place in me. I guess you could say that I was healing from life, right? I'd finally started to love myself and take care of myself despite social pressures or fear, and I really dove deep and tried my best to listen to the still small voice within me and honor that voice rather than repressing it. And while this was challenging, it was very freeing for me, right? It provided me with great clarity and restored balance to my nervous system, which was all sorts of out of whack, right? And I settled into a deeper peace. And what's most important for the sake of our current conversation is that I started to see the world differently, right? I started to see the world as friendly. And I don't mean that in some sort of patronizing, all is butterflies and rainbows sort of way, right? What I mean is that I noticed that the world was constantly presenting me with opportunities to engage in this healing process to which I'm referring, right? It was constantly putting people, situations, and scenarios in my life that would trigger something within me, right? That would cause the still small voice within to speak up. And I had the opportunity to either listen to that voice or deny that voice. And I found that listening to it produced healing and freedom, and denying it produced suffering and slavery. And so for me, it was this great awakening to the fact that what I was searching for on my deepest core level was right in front of me every single day, right? The opportunities in front of me weren't a coincidence. They weren't without purpose. They were opportunities to engage in this healing process. And when I realized that, I couldn't help but interpret it as love, right? It was like, oh my goodness, whatever is in control in this world, right? Whatever is in charge of how life works out is loving me in the most incredible way by presenting me with constant opportunities at healing and greater freedom and deeper connection with myself and others, right? And through these opportunities, I have the opportunity to contribute to or choose my own healing and freedom. Right, so let's back up, let's zoom out, let's look at life for a moment, right? Doesn't life discourage us from taking care of ourselves, right? On the one hand, we have fear, and fear tells us to act in a certain way. Otherwise, we'll be subjected to pain and discomfort. Some examples of this include acting a certain way around people because we don't want to cause them any discomfort, or we don't want them to reject us, or we want something from them and we don't want them to withhold it, right? So we compromise our deepest desires because we're afraid that not doing so will make things worse for us. And then on top of this fear situation, we have a narrative, at least in the modern, mostly Orthodox evangelical and even Catholic Christian America, right, that says that we're dirty animals worthy of nothing, right? You catch this in phrases like, I don't deserve this. And the this is something good, right, to which they're referring. We see ourselves as wretched sinners. We believe our deepest desires are ugly, and thus we ignore them, right? And we also see this in a parent's approach to their children, right? They might say, oh, you're so bad. Or we hear them say, you're such an inconvenience. Or maybe it's more subtle and simply the unspoken ways the child is dealt with, right? The child is seen as a problem to be corrected with all sorts of bad urges that need to be silenced and pushed down, rather than an incredible bundle of molecules and energy that is simply finding his or her way, right? And really, this is simply the parent projecting his or her own belief about his or her own inherent value and worthiness and badness onto the child, right? But the results it doesn't matter. The results don't care that it's just a projection. Either way, the child is going to sort of carry this belief, right? It is going to adopt this belief about his or herself through osmosis. And so not only is life in and of itself difficult and pushing us toward ignoring ourselves, but we have this narrative which resonates with something deep within us, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't hold the power that it does over so many of us. And this narrative is that we're not worthy of honoring, right? It's like this double whammy between fear and the narrative that keeps us stuck in suffering and slavery. And in particular, the I'm not worthy narrative is a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? When we see ourselves as dirty, disgusting, and broken, we set ourselves up for failure. The very thing we need to break out of our perceived dirtiness, disgustingness, and brokenness is the ability to see that we're not those things. We're simply scared human beings with limited clarity, trying our best to receive our deepest desires, which are for love and connection and security, but the means through which we pursue those things produces nothing more than additional suffering for us due to our lack of clarity, right? Not our intent to try and do something bad. It's our lack of clarity that keeps us from effectively executing upon our deepest desires, which are good, right? But again, our primary unclarity is our view of ourselves. We don't believe in our inherent goodness. We haven't dove deep enough within ourselves to see the goodness of our base desires. We've dove into ourselves just enough to see the half-baked outworkings of those desires, right? But again, not deep enough to see the desires in their pure innocence. And again, we all simply want love, connection, and security on our deepest level, right? And because we can't see this, we mistakenly believe that we are bad. And this belief keeps us stuck in a cycle of less than optimal activity, right? Activity that causes suffering and keeps us enslaved. And this song, It's You I Like, this is the reason I like it so much. This song pushes in direct opposition to the deeper belief in our core badness. It says, you, down to your core, every single piece of you is worthy of liking, is worthy of honoring and paying attention to and listening to, is worthy of affection and admiration, right? This is a powerful message, and this song encapsulates the most important message a human can come to believe about his or herself. And I'm certain that's why Fred Rogers wrote it, right? And why he sang it to children. He knew that the world, including some of the most important people in the lives of those children, was going to tell them the exact opposite of the message in this song. And he wanted to try and download this song into their hearts so deeply that it stuck and overpowered the constant negative onslaught of the world when it came their way. I love that. Come on, Fred, right? That's freaking brilliance. But you know what's more brilliant? What's more brilliant is the human who interacts with the world in this way, right? The human who lives out the song, It's You I Like, as he or she interacts with anyone he or she encounters, right? That's sainthood, right? That in a world that is constantly beating this message out of people, that's nothing short of a miracle. That's the good stuff. And for me, this song came as sort of a gift from God, right? Because when I first started on this journey of believing in my own inherent goodness, taking care of myself on my deepest levels and honoring and valuing myself as much as I honored and valued other human beings, it was difficult, right? Again, the world is constantly pushing forward the opposite message. So in pursuit of this belief, I quickly found myself swimming against the current of modern humanity, right? I found myself in the very, very, very small minority. And when you find yourself in that space, it's uncomfortable. You start to wonder if you're the crazy one, right? You wonder if you've got it all wrong. The question, if the path I'm following is right, why is everyone else walking in the opposite direction, pops into your head, right? It's difficult to stand in this tension. But again, thankfully, this song and various other messages that came my way during that time encouraged me to take the next step, right? To continue moving forward in pursuit of this incredibly powerful belief. And I want to say one more thing before I wrap up here. This is for the folks who believe in God, and perhaps more specifically for those who believe in God as presented in the Bible. I found that most Bible-believing Christians don't believe in the message of the song, It's You I Like. They believe that we're naughty to our core, that our deepest parts aren't worth honoring and listening to. They're to be ignored and suppressed. The message they send to themselves and others is, right? And let's just focus on the message they send to themselves, because I think that's the powerful, transformative message here that can either free them or keep them enslaved, right? The message they send to themselves constantly is, I don't like you. I don't like the way you are. I don't like the things way down deep inside you. I don't like every part of you. And I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, that I don't like you. It's you yourself. It's you. It's you I don't like. What a heartbreaking message for a human to send to his or herself, right? If you're a parent, can you imagine the impact that a message like this would have on a child? Can you imagine the life that he or she would live if someone was constantly dripping this message to him or her? It wouldn't be good, right? I'm telling you, substantial, lasting human transformation begins with a shift in how a person sees and treats his or herself. The human that sees his or herself as an afterthought and constantly puts his or herself on the back burner is doomed to a life of suffering and slavery. And because of this, he or she will spread that suffering elsewhere. Even if they think they're bottling it up, they're not. And even if they were capable of bottling it up, it would first eat them up from the inside out, and then it would eventually come out. The human who honors himself or herself and sees himself or herself as an incredible ball of molecules and energy full of incredible positive potential, who is just trying to figure it all out, and certainly bumbling and stumbling along the way, but worthy and dignified nonetheless, is the human who will not only set his or herself free, but will play a significant role in setting others free. And I'm going to end with another quote, and this quote's by Khalil Gibran. Khalil said, "And God said, love your enemy, and I obeyed him and loved myself." The human who sees himself or herself primarily as a problem to solve or an issue to resolve is at war with himself or herself. He or she is, by definition, an enemy of him or herself. Right? Love thy enemy. Stop hating yourself. Tell yourself it's you I like, and watch your world transform. All right, thanks for your attention. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, follow, or subscribe. All of those actions help me reach more people with this message. Otherwise, take care, friend.